Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Fullest podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Bostwick, and today's guest is Dara Dubinet, who I've had the pleasure of knowing for some time now, and I'm so excited to have her on the podcast. She's doing so many amazing things. So, Dara is a life direction specialist, a maverick of sorts, blazing a trail globally for vibrancy, health, and happiness. She inspires others to get to their next level of greatness by making choices that lead to a life that is clean, clear, and bright. Her intuitive gifts enable her to be aligned and guide herself and others. Tonics, Feng Shui, decluttering, Astrogeography, and North Nodes are just some of the tools in her magic life toolbox. Hi, Dara.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy to connect with you. It's been a while. I mean, like before all of COVID went down and everything too.
Yeah, it's true. I saw you last at that beautiful event that you put on with Dr. Sadeghi.
Oh, yeah.
It was exquisite. Yes. So everything you do, we've done a couple of interviews before on Feng Shui, right? Back in the day.
I love the Feng Shui one that we did it's on YouTube. And that was kind of like, I mean, so you have just like, I just read your bio. I mean, you have such a diverse background, and I think it's important to share that you can bring in these elements of clarity and next leveling your life through every aspect of what you do. And so what you've done is really help people with the food aspects and tonics and bringing in the adaptogens and learning to really treat your body as a temple, but then understanding that the environment that you're in is just as important. And so way, like that was a really fun interview. I loved that one. And I think about it.
Yeah.
Like
you were the first one to jump on that for me. I've been wanting to do Feng Shui class for years. I'm just starting to do it now. And you were like, you came to my home and you did the most beautiful photographs and video. It was the finest that has ever been done for me, by the way, with you and David.
Yeah, David is amazing.
You'll be happy to know that I remember I probably told you years ago that probably 18 years ago, I had the idea to do a Feng Shui or a TV show based on the principles of Feng Shui, where I go into people's homes and I help them get what they need, like manifest love or money. And there's certain things we can find in the home that's tripping us up. So I did make a sizzle reel recently that's going to be pitched to HGTV. So we'll see if the universe wants that. But yeah, you will. Yes, they need that because especially now, we're staying in our home so much, and we're staying in places that we've paid little to no attention to. And even if we have paid attention to it, there are things that we can do to honor the current desires that we have, because we change, right? So I think what you've noticed throughout the years is that, like, I did food first, raw food. Food isn't everything, but it's the first thing. And then when you start cleaning up your body, you start looking around your home and you just become more sensitive to everything. And if something's there that makes you feel mad, bad, or sad, it has to go. And then we can pay attention to our homes, and then we start looking around and maybe our relationships. And so it's a process of like detoxifying the body, decluttering the home, disengaging from those who aren't serving our highest good. Let them come back when they are, if so. Yeah. And so it's just been, to me, I think throughout the years, I've come up with some really efficient, you and I are both projectors in human design, right? Yeah. We love efficiency. We love getting to the point. And you and I both have something in our natal charts. It's Neptune in the third house, which, to put it simply, we don't love the little, like, maybe balancing the checkbook stuff of life, and it kind of gets a little watery for us and a little bit mystical and magical. However, that Neptune in the third house gives us the gift of explaining things that are very complicated, very spiritual, in a very simple and palatable way, right? So yeah. I have noticed throughout the years, like, raw food was a huge wake-up call, but so was Feng Shui. Like, it changed my life. And so as the North Nodes, which is in your natal chart and literally spells out your dharma, your whole reason for being, and if you act according to the North Node, yours is in Aquarius, your spirit is going to be happy. You will be happy. And what happens when you're happy and you sparkle? Other people see it, they feel it. And how do opportunities and money come to you? Pretty much through other people. So when you're vibrating at this joy level, people want to be near you. They want to pay you to have you near them. They want to participate in all you do. And then how beautiful. And my wish is for everybody to be in their magic lane, for everybody to be experiencing their sparkle and their joy. And then we can see someone doing theirs and we're like, oh, I'll have some of that. I want to do a little bit of that. I can incorporate some of that. So when I do my Taurus North Node, which is everything beauty and food and beautiful pottery and luxury items, people, or being out in nature, people are inspired by that and they can do some, just because it's my North Node, I'm going to explain the North Nodes, basically, simply, to break it down.
Explain North Nodes, astrogeography, like all of the things.
I will.
Because even human design.
Okay. So basically, for human design, we have Jenna Zoe, my dear friend, right? But basically, it's funny that you mentioned Jenna or human design is that, I've done so many things, as you know, Feng Shui, the raw food, all of it. And one day I was sitting at my kitchen table and I got a hit that Jenna was talking about me to Lacey Phillips. And I'm like, I hear them talking about me. Oh my gosh, Lacey's saying, what does Dara do? And all of a sudden I hear it sounds like a hot mess because there's like a million things I do. So Jenna said to me the next day, I was talking to Lacey about you. And I was like, I felt it. And she said, I was telling her what you do. And I felt that too. And she said, Dara, the one thing that you do so well is one of the things that you're not offering. And that's intuitive sessions. So she said, get ready. I'm about to announce you. And I did the same thing for her with human design. So I was like, all right, I'm in, I'm game. And when I started doing the intuitive sessions, I automatically looked at people's astrogeography because I want to know, astrogeography is the astrology of place. So basically, if you've ever had the feeling that somewhere feels really, really good, like for you, Lisbon, for you, Nepal, for you, India, you, Nikki, I looked at your astrogeography.
Oh my God.
It's like a natal chart of the world. It's a map of the world, and it shows you where you have Jupiter, where you have opportunities, where you have Venus descending, which is your love line, which, by the way, you, Nikki, were born pretty much on your love line. You were destined for a partner. Aww. Because wherever you're born tells of the story that makes up your character. So it means that you're beautiful and somebody feels beautiful near you and they want to be near you. That's your Venus descending. But to put it simply, astrology of place tells you, astrogeography as I call it, tells you where you can manifest what. Okay, so we can only live in one place. So let's say I'm on my Jupiter line where I am now. It changed my life, literally changed my life. And I may want some fame and recognition. There's a place in the world that holds that energy for me, so I can then do business in that place via Zoom, via group. So it's a really cool tool, and it's the first thing I look at because if someone's having a hard time, they could be doing everything right, but if they're swimming in planetary energies that are difficult, we want to help you navigate the waters. We want to help you say, oh, of course, it's Pluto. It's like death and destruction all the time. It's intense, but let's use it to transform. And it's good to know when to go, when to visit a place, but also when to leave. And I think that we can handle anything in any place as long as we know what we're headed into, right? So I looked at that, and then when I was doing the sessions, all of a sudden the North Node symbol started zooming out at me in the natal chart. No one told me about it. I've discovered that it is the single most important point in astrology. And that sounds bold because I'm not necessarily an astrologer, but I found a couple books of women who are older than me. One has since passed on, Jan Spiller. And I was like, she said the same exact thing. It's like, there's another woman, Elizabeth, who wrote a book, but she said she's an intuitive like me. And she said it's the fast track to knowing someone's dharma. I say it's the fast track to knowing someone's soul's wish. So, of course, you need to know yours. You need to know how to behave according to your North Node. Reaching for your North Node, it's like your spiritual shining star. It's the opposite of your past lifetimes, which is your South Node. It's an axis. So the North Node you're reaching and stretching towards. The South Node is kind of your shadow. It describes what you kind of need to not be doing in this lifetime.
Wow.
Because it's your karma that you've dragged in. You've kind of dragged it in with a suitcase. And for the first 30 years of our lives, we do behave according to our south node. It's natural, but we will have a little voice inside of us that tells us of our north node. And that's what I want to help people discover, because once, you may have heard shadow work, and you may not know, well, what's my shadow? It's in the south node. So your north node is in Aquarius, Nikki, and you're here to be the humanitarian that we all need right now. You're here to innovate new ways to bring humanity forward. Podcasts, you're a Gemini, yes? So using words to move humanity forward. It's the innovator, it's the genius, it's the humanitarian, it's equality, it's sustainability, it's freedom for all. It's obviously what you've been doing with Poppy and Seed and the Fullest for all of these years, is you're using your south node perfectly, because your south node is Leo. So you've been royal. Like, you literally came into this life like, why isn't everybody doing everything for me?
Yeah.
Like, you're used to being treated like a queen. But the really good news is everyone will always do things for you. You will have this quality of the south node that you get to keep, because you get to keep the gift of the south node. You want to lose any cringy behavior, but the gift is that you have a star power. You have like a starry energy that people want to follow. If you were making it about me, it would feel wrong, but you don't. You're always highlighting and promoting other people, which is so proper for your Aquarius North Node. So that's the sign of the North Node. So I did all the videos. I made a video, maybe a half hour, 10, I don't know how long they were, for each North Node, so everybody can know their Dharma. And then when I was done, I'm like, I have to do the other half. The other half is the house that the little North Node sign lives in. And it tells you, so the North Node sign, who you are to be is Aquarius. You're supposed to be an Aquarian, a humanitarian, a lover of all people. And then you, the innovator, in what arena? Guess what? Your North Node falls into the fourth house of intuition, of home, of mothering, of children, of caring for yourself, of being the provider at home, right?
Yeah.
Caring for people. So you're working from home and having children. It's so beautiful. And so then we look to it and say, okay, the South Node house placement was Capricorn. It's a Capricorn house, your South Node. And I don't want to get too complicated for everybody. All you need to know that I spell it out so clearly on my website. I show you how to find your North Node in a chart, and I show you how to look up your North Node house. So your North Node sign, Nikki, is Aquarius. Your house placement is the fourth house / Cancer. So everything Cancerian, everything intuition, everything mothering, helping people to get to what lives inside of themselves, their real needs, their true desires. That's your jam.
That's so crazy. Because
so crazy.
My son is a Leo and my daughter is supposed to be a Cancer.
It's supposed to be, she's kind of a Cancer baby girl. Right. So her North Node, I think, will be Cancer. I think if she's born now, it'll be Cancer North Node. So what's so important is that we want to know ourselves, obviously. Then we want to know our partners, so we can be like, hey, babe, you're being a little south right now, a little south node, right? You're just like, it's a little bit, you're being in your shadow. I'm going to encourage you, hey, why don't you go do this? And I'm so practical. I'm such an earthy woman that I like to give practical applications of how to be the Aquarius North Node, how to be in your fourth house, how, and so you can encourage your partner. And then with your children, you can know what lives inside their soul. So my daughter is a Leo North Node. So she's used to being like the inventor, the scientist, the innovator, the genius, but working in a group. You're here to work with others and promote others. She's here to know that she will always do that. That will always be a part of who she is, but she needs to step out from the group. She needs to put on the glamour. She needs to glam it up, And so I, as a mother, get to say, you do it, honey. Like, I know to encourage that. And she said, Mom, this has really changed my life. Like, it's really helped me so much. So it's so helpful to know the people you love. And if you are a practitioner of any kind, it's a fast track to knowing your client's soul's wish. Feng Shui, food, nutrition, anything. Any kind of coaching for someone, you need to know their North Node.
Well, anyone that's like done this type of work or looked into astrology or looked into all these things, I feel like immediately when you read about yourself, it just feels so good because you feel understood. And there's this sense of like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And then you feel more connected to yourself. And then that connects you more to your intuition and your power. And then it's like, whether you think it's woo woo or not, it's just such a great feeling, because then you can use it like the way you say it, just as tools. It doesn't mean that you have to dictate every single thing by these things, but it means that this is just more insight into yourself energetically, and I love all of it.
Yeah. It's up your alley because it's the stuff of helping humanity move forward. Because if we are doing what we're here to do and what makes us truly happy, the world will be a better place. And I love that you said the word woo-woo, because it's a word I never use. You know why? Because I'm a really practical woman. I'm not woo-woo. I'm not airy-fairy. I love color. I love to be happy, but I'm pretty grounded. I'm a Capricorn sun with Virgo rising and a Taurus North node. And I'm like, bring it on down to earth, please. Like, let's make it practical. So it never feels woo-woo to me. It's like there's a map. You can look at your astrogeography. You can look at your natal chart. It's right there. It's in black and white. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel anything other than, oh, that's really good information that we need now, especially now when everybody's realizing that they were doing things that weren't making them happy, or they're still doing it. And what is their dharma? The North Node spells out the life dharma across the board. That's holistic. That's in love. That's going to the grocery store. That's doing anything in life. If you are doing little and big things that activate your North Node, great. Your midheaven, and this, I haven't done this body of work yet, but I intend to do a full Zoom class on it.
Oh my God.
The midheaven, so I'm announcing it here, is that the midheaven is your career dharma. It's the legacy you're supposed to leave behind and what you need to get out of your career. And I would say because you have a Leo South node, you have to be careful not to make it me. But guess what? On the world stage, you're Leo. So you are supposed to be the leader and the superstar. As long as it is doing something to move humanity forward, I am encouraging you to be on camera more.
Wow.
To show up more, even lead even more than you already do. Everything Leo, which you are generous and you are the Leo leader, but it's even more.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. Our sponsor for this week is Beekeepers Naturals. I have known about them for a little while now. I interviewed their founder, Carly Stein, on our podcast, and I absolutely love her. I learned so much from her and her journey. I think you guys would love listening to it, but basically that's when I started using the Beekeepers Naturals products. And I was at the time pregnant with my son Truth, so I couldn't give it to him even when he was born because he was a little too young. Kids can't really use it until they're a little older. So I love them because they use this special potent natural ingredient called propolis. And you may have already heard about it, but it's becoming increasingly big in the world of holistic healing. Bee propolis is actually the medicine that bees use to heal themselves. And it also contains over 300 compounds that are beneficial to the human immune system. So after learning all about Beekeepers Naturals and the power of propolis, I began using their Bee Immune Propolis Throat Spray, and I loved it. I keep one by my bedside, I have one in my car, and I have one in my purse as well. And that's because now my son is 2 years old and I can give him the kids version. He actually also takes the regular version as well, sometimes if I don't have the kids one around, but he's old enough now. And it's amazing because if you are feeling like under the weather or you have a sore throat, it works immediately and you can spray it throughout the day. And it's really wild because it feels like it's numbing your throat, but in the best way possible, not like a medication would. And it feels like it's healing it as well, not just like dealing with the symptom of having a sore throat, but you know it's working and it tastes really good like honey. So there's no complaints there. So for a limited time, I'm really excited to share that Beekeepers is offering the fullest listeners a free 2-week supply of Bee Immune Propolis Throat Spray. And all you need to do is pay $5 for shipping, which is a pretty amazing promotion. So to claim your free trial, you must visit beekeepersnaturals.com/fullest only. Know that. So be sure to go to BeekeepersNaturals, both beekeepers and naturals are plural, .com/fullest without the in front of it. To us, this is an incredible way to prioritize your immune health. But if for some reason you don't love it, Beekeepers Naturals will refund your $5, no questions asked, which is insane. So there's no reason for you to not go on the website right now and order it. You can also find Beekeepers Naturals nationwide in over 2,000 stores like Target, Whole Foods, and Sprouts, and again on our podcast episode from last year. So be sure to check out that podcast episode with Carly Stein as well. Thanks so much. When I first started the company, I was like, I don't want it to be about me at all. And I don't want anything to be about me. And I don't want to be in photos. And also it was just me like working through body image issues and all sorts of things that came along with it. But that's really interesting to hear. So that's
I think it's very proper of you to think, no, let's not make it me. And I think if you've North Noded as much as you have, the idea is that we want the North Node as like our medicine to balance us out, because you've been very Leo and now you need a whole lot of Aquarius. But I feel when we swing the pendulum and when we really reach towards our North Node, then when we're more balanced, we get to intentionally step back into our South Node and have both be part of us. It's not like we have to throw out everything Leo. And since you have the Leo midheaven, it's a dance for you. And I would say from home, like just do your videos from home. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe share your face a little more. Your beautiful face.
Thank you. Okay, so the midheaven has to do with career, though, specifically.
Mm-hmm. Specifically, your how the world sees you, how you'll be remembered, and it's fascinating and so helpful. So you see me, as I would say, it sounded like a hot mess, and I've come to terms, especially after understanding my midheaven, is that it's not a hot mess to be all over the place. I am here with my Gemini midheaven to communicate about many things, to be the messenger. So it's proper, right? So I'm here to broadcast out to the world.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a hot mess at all. It's funny because like people are always like, what is the fullest? Like, what do you guys do? You guys do so many different things and, whatever. And I'm just like, because everything it's all holistic. It's all holistic. So everything that you do is a part of every aspect of your life. So like, how can you just be so singular? I mean, I admire those that are like that, and that's great. And they offer something in the world, but then it's like, that's what is so amazing about what you can see so many different elements, right? And then that's why you can help people move forward, not just like Western medicine. They just treat one thing, right?
There's a whole lot of tools in the toolbox. There's so many tools to use, right? Like Ayurveda and the Abhyanga massages and Feng Shui. And there's so many tools. I rule out any of them. And there's so many gifts that are available to us from other cultures. So I am a messenger of those things. Yes.
Yeah. So the other thing was like, with the Feng Shui piece, and I incorporate this all the time. Like I have my crystals in a specific place in my house because of love or because of abundance, or I have empty vessels, like you had mentioned, in specific parts of my house. And I'm so excited that you're going to hopefully do a show around this, because people ask all the time, and I'm always like, the only person I know that can help anyone is Dara. Like, I don't know anyone else.
That's so amazing, because you really were the first person to call me out for it, to say, hey, let's talk about this. Like, your home feels good. I want to talk. I want to come over and interview you. And I feel that it's time. So the Feng Shui class is coming up like within the next couple months. So we'll keep everybody posted. They can sign up for my newsletter, stay in touch with you, because you will be notified ASAP. And I'm going to show people how to place the Bagua, which is the map that goes over your home to show you where your love area is. Where is your wealth area? What is in it? Like, even before you start decluttering, it's kind of funny to know how we trip ourselves up.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, because when we place something in an area, let's say that we have a whole lot of junk in our, the things that I find when I go into people's, you can see so much about what is going on with people's psyche. For example, I went to someone's home for the sizzle reel, and something told me to ask. So I was going into a woman's home that I had not known, but she was wanting me to come in and help her with her home. And I kept asking the crew about does she want love? And they're like, oh, we don't know. I don't know. And I'm like, I kept feeling love. And when I went to her home, before I went in, the cameraman, this big guy who fell in love with what I was doing, he sussed out the house before me because the crew sets up. And he said, Dara, there's a bathroom in her love area.
Oh my
And I
God,
said, okay, we all have bathrooms somewhere. But he's so excited about Feng Shui. And so I went to her love area, and there were two big framed photographs, old photographs of imposing male figures staring, two. One was her father, one was her grandfather, just hanging there in the love area, along with a lot of other clutter, one chair, one little desk, like so much of her childhood and life, and these imposing characters were in her love area. It's like you feel like you were being stared down.
Totally.
It was wild. So it told me that she had some blockages because she really wasn't even asking for love. It was so far not her interest that there were some deeper issues. Had I had more time, I'd be able to work through what those were. There was also mold in her bathroom and all kinds of it was like an area. So when we look, let's say that it's not as drastic as that. And let's just say in our love area, we have a picture of ourselves alone. A lot of people have boudoir shots. Maybe there's a picture of ourselves alone in our love area. And if I say to someone, well, you want a picture of two people there, you may not want a picture of yourself alone in that area. Two things. One is we physically put it there to show ourselves that we may have something we need to work through to see if it really is what we want. So I feel that physical things in our home or obstacles, even in the home architecturally, are things that we chose. And how beautiful is it that there's a physical representation of something that we're doing psychologically, so that when it's pointed out physically and we decide to move it, we can address those internal issues. And I know that sounds really deep, but it really does. It does work. I went to my friend's home and he said, I want love. And I said, are you serious? You're like the biggest player I know. Are you sure? And he said, yes, I do. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's look. And in his love area, he had his running shoes and his passport. He was always running from love. Meanwhile, he took them out. This was the pilot I did. We used his home years ago in California. I made 2 pilots on my own 18 years ago. We did his home and he ended up finding the love of his life, and he's still with her 14 years later. So we just have to address our own things that we do.
Where is the love area? Because I was thinking that it's in the bedroom, like on the right side of the bed.
It is.
On the right side of the bed, or just the right side, how does that work?
Okay. So I'm going to explain it simply. First of all, you can feng shui anything. Someone asked me to come feng shui their boat in Marina Del Rey. I wish to go around to everybody's homes with an iPhone following me, so that may happen. But we'll see if this still happens. If that doesn't, I'm going renegade. I'm going Maverick. But you can feng shui your whole lot to your house, to the whole house itself. And then you can feng shui each room. You can feng shui your car, and you can feng shui your desk. So when the most important room in the house is the bedroom. So let me explain how you place this. It's a Western style of feng shui. Okay, it's called the Black Hat Set Tibetan Buddhist Feng Shui, brought here by Professor Lin Yan. And I just say that because I don't want people to get confused with directions. I don't pay attention to directions. I literally want to place the bagua and know where my love area is. So when you're standing at the front door, let's say to your home or to your room, you're standing and your feet are facing into the room, into your bedroom, and the back wall is divided into 3 sections. It's the far right section.
Mm-hmm.
There's 9 guas in the bagua. It goes, the far left is wealth, the middle is fame and reputation. That's how you want the world to see you. It's so important for career and money. And then love and partnership is so important because it's any partnership in your life. It's your husband, it's partnerships in business, it's counsel, it's long-term friendships. Like, even if you don't want to be in a relationship right now because you're healing or whatever, it's still important to have balance in that area because it affects the opposite area, which is knowledge and self-cultivation. And it's so fascinating how it all works together. Let's say for love and partnership, you want love, but the opposite gua, catty corner, diagonal, is knowledge and self-cultivation. If you have not cultivated your own self, you aren't really going to have love, great love. So they all go together. Just like wealth and abundance, the opposite gua is helpful people in travel, the people you need to say yes to you in order to have the abundance. So it's so fascinating. I have to do this course. When we hang up, I'm working on the outline.
I know. We need it.
Yeah, it's coming. The hardest thing is to figure out how to teach people how to do the bagua, but I'm going to show many floor plans and different possibilities.
Yeah, it's really hard because every home is shaped so differently in every room. Like, for example, mine has like a hallway when you walk into it before you get to the main part. And so, like, yeah, I that is really challenging. So hopefully
since you're my champion of Feng Shui and my first champion, really, besides the people who filmed my pilots many years ago, you can send me your floor plan and I'll use it in the class.
Oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna send it to you.
Okay, cool.
But I know, like, I know a lot of people probably in Orange County too, and LA, that are gonna, like, after this, want you to just come to their house. Do you do that service?
If somebody lets me film it so I can share it with others, I'll do it. I don't do the service at the moment. I have done Zoom sessions for people, and it's amazing what I can intuit when they're going around the room. I'm like, stop. I just saw some stuff that's creeping out from under your sofa. Go back. What's behind the door? Oh, why is there a framed picture of a man facing your bed? Like the things that people do, and the stuffed animals covering the bed. I'm like, you're not ready for love, are you? She's like, no. But I was able to intuit that underneath your sink, I go, what's under your sink in your kitchen? And she said, boxes of pictures of my ex-boyfriend. I was like, that probably needs to know. Yeah.
Well,
there's
that's
so much to tell and so much to do with it. Yeah. And I would love to help some people, and maybe some of them will let me film it, because I love to share with many. Like, I love helping one person, but I want everybody to learn. There's like so many good teaching moments, you know?
Totally. Yeah. You're like, I need to broadcast this for the world so that everyone can move forward and and learn this. But that's what I love. It's like your home is like the epitome of a Marie Kondo decluttered home, for sure. I love it. And I think what you mentioned about learning before you declutter, learning what you've created and how it's affected your life and how it's created obstacles. I mean, I don't think people talk about that at all. Even that.
No, it's really, you're right. It takes, like, I love what she did. I love what she does. I love how she honors the home. I love how sweet she is. There's something different that I do in that. It matters to me, aesthetics.
Yeah.
And that it matters what it looks like. It needs to be like clean, clear, and bright and pretty.
Yeah.
So I have simple, inexpensive ways to do that. My aesthetic, I believe that it should be accessible to all, that beauty should be accessible, and that simple white walls and colorful rugs on the floor. And, I have an aesthetic that I like and usually recommend. And it needs to be pretty. So then it also, when we know, like, it's fun to declutter and tidy, that's so amazing. But what if we can know even more? What if we can have that, oh my God, I found an upside down painting of myself that somehow I put in my love area. Me, Dara, I've done that. Like, how all of a sudden, why is everybody sending me portraits? There was one month where my daughter painted a couple portraits of me, and this other woman, Allie, she's so great. Love includes everyone. I'm like, I was supposed to break up with someone, but I was dreading it, not wanting to do it. And all of a sudden, people just kept sending paintings of me and pictures of me alone. And I was like, okay, getting the message, right? Like, so when we know what to look for, it makes these aha moments that are just astounding and exciting. They're exciting when we realize it. And then we get to, the thing I love about it is that we get to intentionally, let's say you put your wealth, the purple, beautiful, open, and I say this for wealth, you want to put an empty vessel, but somebody once said, I said, put an expensive vase. And then they showed me what they put there, and it had this teeny little opening. So we want to welcome abundance in a wide vessel. It was funny. So like a wide bowl, not a little hold vase, but when we see what when we take care of ourselves and we put that fountain in our wealth area, or we put the image of two people in our love area, and they can be hidden, by the way. Maybe there's some tantric, beautiful image you like, and it needs to not be hanging on the wall. It can go in the drawer, right? So
Yeah.
we do that. We know every time we glance in that direction, even if we think about it or we don't, we'll know we took care of that part of ourselves. So the Bagua represents all the areas of our life, right? So we want to take care of all the areas. It's like we want our bodies to be working all the way.
So tell us a little bit more about the Bagua, because you referenced it a few times and it sounds like it's a map, but then...
Yeah, it's a map that you place over your home, and different areas correspond with different areas of your life. Different areas of your home correspond with different areas of your life, right? So there's a wealth area, a reputation area, a love area. There's a children and creativity area. If you're not feeling creative, if you want to be fertile in any way, there's helpful people in travel. If you want to travel, my friend Rebecca down in the South, she said the only area of her home that was so cluttered was 2 garages full of stuff, and all she wants to do is travel. And her cluttered garages are her helpful people in travel area. So now that she knows it, she's on a mad rampage to go fix it, right?
Yeah.
So that she can be free. And beautiful Rebecca. And then, so it's all, none of us don't trip. We all trip ourselves up. It's just knowing where and what. So the Bagua shows us that. And it's a very Western approach to Feng Shui because, it's just taking an ancient science and making it current for our culture is what he did, Professor Lin Yan. I was jazzed by it. When I first heard about it, I literally stood up in my class. My teacher's name is Carol Cannon. She has the Carol Cannon group. And when I was like, oh my gosh, there's a name for what I've been doing. And there's more rules and things to learn. And it's just so fun. It's really common sense. And someone said to me when I was filming the sizzle reel, one of the guys was interviewing me, and he said, if it's common sense, then why isn't everybody doing it? And I said, because probably most people aren't spending the time to look inward, inside themselves and inside their homes. And inward is your specialty, Nikki, going inward.
I love going inward a little too much. Mm-hmm. People are like,
really your dharma, though. You're here to show how it's done. So
what I'm really realizing too, I mean, like, we toss around the word intuition so much in the wellness community, I would say, but like truly sitting down and really think about what that means and how to apply that connection with our intuition and that relationship. Like, I've had so many situations lately, especially becoming a mom, where I've had to make really tough decisions for my son. I mean, he's only 2. So like, I had to cancel a week-long trip to Texas that I just knew it wasn't right for us to get on an airplane with him literally the next day. And, I was going with friends, and my husband and I were really excited and stuff like that. And I was like, I need to do this because I know it's right. And I'm not going to be okay with like whatever I thought was going to happen, the outcome. And then like, I've had certain situations like that happen where I didn't trust my intuition, and my husband was like, oh my gosh, like next time we're totally with your gut because I didn't listen to you. And now, like, thankfully he recognizes that, I am more in touch with it when it might come to our kids and stuff like that. And so I've really cultivated that and embraced it. And the more I make those tough decisions, the longer that relationship is. And I just love it so much. And I just want everyone to do that because I think that's
pretty badass.
Yeah.
Pretty badass. Yeah.
And
it's trust in yourself.
Everyone can be clairvoyant and everyone has that ability. And I always wonder, like, how are there psychics? How are there people that know this? And or my chiropractor who does like my muscle testing and stuff. And it all goes back to the intuition. And I love it so much. So I think that's
the only difference, between them and everyone is the listening and the trusting. You listened, you trusted, and then you got proof, you got confirmation, Your husband sees the confirmation, and he now knows to listen to you, which is the ultimate in love and respect to me. I have only the people in my life who trust if I say I'm not going in, I'm just not going in. I could walk up to a restaurant and be like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Or everybody knows to follow me to which table. Like, I'm just going to feel it out. It's just like a thing. So it really takes you standing strong in yourself. You can't expect people to trust your intuition if you don't trust it. And everyone has it. It may show up differently. It may feel differently, but it's just a feeling. It feels like if something's like bugging you and it's causing anxiety, or it's causing like a heaviness in your chest, or you get any kind of physical ailment, and the physical ailments we get, as you know, we both see our beloved Dr. Sadeghi, who has taught us or reiterated the idea that our biology is affected by our biography. Our biography dictates our biology, meaning what's going on in our lives is going to show up in our blood test. What's going on in our lives is going to show up in our homes. The Feng Shui, I will see it. So these are pay attention. So if you get like a yucky feeling about going somewhere, or all of a sudden you develop a headache or a stomach ache, the first question is, what is it I've agreed to do that I shouldn't be doing?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a clue, right?
Yeah.
And
But we
it's fun
just
how
to suppress it all, and then that takes us farther away from it. And so I think like part of what you're doing is really teaching people how and what tools to use to go back into that, whether it's drinking the tonics, get back into ourselves, or doing this work, or learning more about ourselves, because then it's a reminder,
It's pretty practical what I do, because if you think about it, you have to clean up your body in order to even hear your own beautiful heart, or to hear messages from God or the divine. Like if you're clogged and numb and doped up or drugged in or whatever you're doing to numb yourself, you're not going to hear. So we want to clean the vessel so that the cell, like think about the oxygen flowing freely, oxygen, blood, nutrients flowing freely to the major intelligence centers. And that's not just the brain, it's the gut and the heart. And then we can hear our own heart. That's like hearing our own gut, our own intuition. And then we can make proper decisions with our brain after we feel something. And so food isn't everything, but I am obsessed with healthy food and like clean up the vessel. The vessel is our soul's chariot, right? And we got to keep our homes and our cars appropriately clean, clear, and bright for our soul's chariot, our body. And it goes like that. So you're a leader, my dear. You're a leader in, like, you could literally lead others. They can literally come to see you via Zoom or podcast to know how to follow their intuition, because it's your North Node fourth house. It's the house of intuition. And because it's so important to you and so fresh to you, it's something that you discover, and people, when something is fresh to you, I don't believe we have to wait 10 to 20 years until we're fully developed into something to begin sharing it, because I never would have shared raw food. I was sharing it when it was like, holy crap, this is like the, what do they call it? The fountain of youth.
Yeah.
I wanted to stand on the street corner. And so I shared every time I made food, I turned on the camera, no matter what I was wearing, because it was so exciting. So if it's exciting to you, if it's your North Node, if it's following your intuition, Nikki, and sharing other people who are doing good for humanity, you have to share now, while you're doing it, while you're learning. So I think more on intuition, because it does sound so vague to me. It does. The word intuition sounds so vague. I think it's time to dissect it more, and maybe have some, podcasts on what it means to people practically.
Yeah.
Literally, when I don't know, I use my intuition. Like sometimes I practice by just going out my front door, not knowing where I'm going, or having some idea that I'm maybe going to get to the beach, or maybe going to get to a food or a matcha place. And I let my feet go which way. Like I feel it, like this way or this way. Kind of like if you're walking a dog and let them lead the way. You know what I mean? Like or you can get a pendulum and practice with a pendulum. And make it fun, not serious. I think that's the best way.
I love practicing with a pendulum. Like one time, one of my employees, she was going through a really hard time, and she had gotten diagnosed with cancer, and we were having like a team meeting, and she was like, I just got this wig. I mean, it could be like, I'm sharing this story because it, like you said,
Yeah.
hard. And she's like,
It could be the silliest thing.
yeah, she's like, I just got this wig. What do you guys think? And I was like, let's ask the pendulum. And the pendulum was like, absolutely not, return it. And we were just cracking up.
That's the kind of question.
So
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You know what? I sometimes when a subject's too intense for us, we're going to like affect the pendulum. So I have this friend, Linda, who is amazing. And we shortened the I used to say, I have a pendulum question for you. Or she'd say, I have a pendulum question for you, because your friend isn't biased. They can ask the question and you're not going to force I call it a pendy. And
Yeah.
then I shortened it. I have a PQ, a pendy question. So we would just write PQ. And then they would write, shoot, like, what is it? So, Nikki, if you ever need a PQ with me, just text me. It's fun to have somebody who can do that with you, for you, when you're just like a little bit too intense on something.
I really like that tip. That's a really good tip.
PQ.
Oh my gosh. Oh, well, I'm so excited to have had you on, and I want to know, like, if you can just share really quick about your website and what you're offering now for people to be able to connect with and learn more about. I know a lot of it is North Node and astrogeography and stuff, and then I'm just excited for you of what's coming too.
That's coming, honey. Okay, so right now you can have, people ask me, how did they start eating healthy? The answer to that is my Soups and Smoothies ebook. You have a smoothie in the morning, you bring a soup wherever you go, carpool, wherever you're going, you have a soup in a mason jar, and then you eat whatever you want for dinner, and you're 75% raw. You're getting nutrients you need. Soups and Smoothies ebook. I have a tonics ebook, Labor of Love, and then I have a doobie through the holidays book, which is really cute and has my amazing chai recipe in it. I can't live without it. I'm drinking it right now. So that's the ebooks. And then if you want to know your Dharma or anybody else's Dharma, or if you're helping anybody in any way or have a family or people that you love, you get the North Nodes course. It's a life tool. I call them life tools because there's something you can use forever. You meet somebody new, you meet a new love, a new baby, you want to know their North Nodes. So there is a whole package life tool box for the North Nodes, and you can know everyone's. And you don't need their birth time to know their North Node sign. So there's part 1 and part 2 of the North Nodes. Part 1 is sign, and you can just get yours. And then you can look up on my website in part 2 of the North Node Life Tool. I show you how to look up the sign, the house that your North Node is in. Great to do. And that's the North Nodes. That's your Dharma. And then we have the Intro to Astrogeography course, which is so simple. So anytime you get a hit to go somewhere or somebody invites you somewhere, all of a sudden you just start thinking about India for some reason, or you will know why, because we didn't even touch your astrogeography, but you have gorgeous, gorgeous lines in India and Nepal and Thailand and Lisbon and Paris. And I'm like, oh, Greece and Italy, interesting. So if you ever need me to check on your
Greece and Italy, so but I mean, I love Italy, but Greece has been like calling my name, so that's really fun.
Yeah, I feel that for you next. So then the astrogeography, you can learn how to do the whole tool, which you should be looking up other people's as well. It's really fun. And if you just want, let's say you find out you live on a Venus line and you just want, I broke it up into bite-sized pieces so you can just get the Venus line. I do recommend the whole astrogeography tool though.
Wow.
That's it. That's what I got.
Videos, or are they guides to doing it yourself?
It's videos. I teach you how to look it up yourself, and then I teach you what they all mean. Each planet, each of the 4 angles of the planet, some of the combinations of the planet. Yes, I teach you how. You could do it yourself anytime. I want everybody to know how to feed themselves, everybody to know what their own Dharma is. I can't read for everybody. I can't do sessions for everybody. So my mission is to teach people how to feed themselves.
Oh,
right?
I love that.
How to fish.
I'm so excited. I'm definitely signing up, and I'm going to do all of it because I want to do it for my kids. I want to do it for my husband. I want to do it for my sister. I want to do it for everyone. So
your sister. So it's going to help you to understand your sister, your beautiful sister. You're both having babies together. It's going to be fun for your family. So do report back. Do text me anything. And I love you. And I'm so happy to do this. I mean, yeah,
I love you so much. I just like love. I always think everyone needs more Dara energy in their life. So just being able to have access to videos of you is a big deal.